Hello, I'm going to demonstrate here how to create your project report for the MWS program for the summer projects using Markdown in Atom. You should by now have installed all the software, and I'm going to show you now how to go about working in this way. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to download the template. So here's the link that I will give you, and if we go to this website, we get to a repository which has got a bunch of MD files. Each one of these MD files is a markdown file, and you're going to edit those files and potentially create more if you need to. But the first job is to download this repository. So if we go to this website, you can see there's a little cloud button here. So if I click on that and click zip, it will download that to my downloads folder, and here it's MWS Report Master. So I want to move that onto my desktop, and I'll go to my desktop, and here it is. I might rename it, so I'm just going to say my 992 report and open it. Now there's this thing in here called makefile, which you can ignore, and if you even want, you can even just delete it. And what we're interested in is all of these markdown files. So now I want to open these in Atom. So the way to do that would be to first of all open Atom. And what we'll do here is we'll actually say open, sorry, we won't say open, that's what you don't do. We will go File, Add Project Folder. And now I will go to that, navigate to that folder, so it was called My 992 Report, and open it. And now I've opened it as a project in Atom, meaning that I can browse all of the files on the left just by clicking on them. So here we are, these are all the files I have. Now, the most important file here is home, or that's the first one to look at. And so this is your cover page. It should be fairly self-explanatory. So you can edit this. I don't know, I'm making this up. And so there I've changed the title of my project. Student, I'm going to put my name, Andrew Ierson. Partner, Mr. Magoo from the World Trade Organization. I might put their website there. Anyway, I'm just making this up to show you. Prof name, so who's my faculty advisor? Prof Maxim Bitch, I don't know why that. And then there's the dates. Okay, now, all right, so that's all the header information. Let's just see if that is going to look reasonable when I go to Markdown Preview Plus, toggle preview. All right, now this looks a little bit messy. Maybe I can make it a bit bigger. Don't worry if it looks a bit messy, because the point is the content and not the appearance. So I've got the title, I've got my name, and so on. So that's all looking fine. Now this is important, this next bit. So these following are all links, and they won't actually work. You click on it, it won't actually do anything useful. Ooh, don't save. But they will work when I compile everything. So what you have to do is you have to plan out which of these documents are going to be a part of your final report. And they won't all be, okay, because it depends on what you're doing. So let's just put this over here and look at the markdown again. So, so you will all have an executive summary. So this square bracket shows you what's going to appear in the website, and this is the link. So it's linking to execsum.html. Now, so if I want that to work, I need there to be a file here called execsum.md, and here it is. So if I go ahead and make sure I have this file, make sure that the heading is executive summary, which it all should be. And then in this file at the moment, there's just some information about what you're supposed to do here. So you can do some changes in here, and this is, in fact, the executive summary is the most important part of the whole report. So this is something to pay good attention to. But you know, write something. Okay, maybe we'll just preview it quickly and see that it looks all right. Now you can see that the text is coming out. You can see I've got a figure in here, and it doesn't look amazing in this way. And it's also got this funny width 100% thing. Now you want to include that, even if it doesn't look very nice. It will look nice when we compile it. And if you don't include it, then the figure will either be too big or too small. So this is the syntax for adding a figure. Now, let me show you how to add a new figure then, just quickly go through it. So minimize that. Over here I have another figure, and it's called fig02.png, and that's what it looks like. Okay, not great colors, but there you are. So I'm going to copy that into my project report, and I'm going to put it into the folder called figures, because I want to keep all my figures nicely in a separate folder. Okay, so it's in a folder called figures in my root folder. So for example, in the executive summary, if I now change this one to fig02.png, there you go, it's picked up the new figure. And of course I can add multiple figures if I want to. So maybe I want to keep that one, and everyone, blah, 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 whatever, something else. There we are. So you can have multiple figures. That's how you add figures, and just try to ignore the fact that you've got this awkward little width thing coming up. So I will save this file, save, I will close it, and because this link is linking to the equivalent HTML of this markdown file, that will work when I compile this if I click on the executive summary there. So that will work. Now let me give you another quick example. So introduction is also something you'll all have. Here are some that you may not all have. So let's say site description, fieldwork, model, data analysis, social engagement, policy analysis. Let me take as an example fieldwork. So fieldwork is the title. Well, let's say, for example, that I don't have a model. So I'm going to just delete that. And I'm going to also delete, although it doesn't really matter, but I am going to delete the file model.md. Just so that I don't have so much clutter. Okay, so I got rid of that one, and maybe I'm going to also get rid of my social engagement as well, so that I'm reducing the size of this, the number of pages I've got. Okay, let's focus on fieldwork. So fieldwork.html, so I need to edit the file called fieldwork.md, which I have here. And let's just make this bigger. This is an optional file, but I'm going to include it, so I'm going to delete that little optional tag, and I'm going to, I've given myself a main header, fieldwork, and then there's a second header, a secondary header, experimental objective. So I'm going to write something in here. I'm going to write something in here. I'm going to maybe add a figure. Maybe I'm going to add figure 2 in my experimental design for whatever reason. So there we are. And I'll just preview that. So there you are. Let's say I also will want to now demonstrate how to add an equation. It is shown that I'll just add an equation like this. Y is equal to 2x plus 3. Simple equation. And it's not coming out, so I need to make sure I go to latex rendering. It's shown that y equals 2x plus 3, where y is the water level in the pond, and x is the surface area, something like that. So that's how you embed a symbol within a sentence between single dollar signs, and that's how you add an equation on a separate line that's going to be centered using double dollar signs. And then you just use LaTeX equations to add those. There might be a little bit of a learning curve here, but it's way easier, in fact, than using, to be honest, any other equation editor that is out there, and nicer as well. So anyway, that's the idea. Now I'm going to show you one more thing. I've shown you how to edit